Hey everyone, thanks for joining Realtor on the Roof Land Talk. Today we're discussing how to transition to a more rural lifestyle. Hey, well, thanks for joining me. I'm Stephen J.B. Davis, your land specialist and residential realtor. I almost forgot who I was and what I did for a second. Today we're just talking, we're kind of wrapping up the land talk stuff because residential things are heating up here in Lexington, and I will continue making videos, but they will be a little bit more traditional house focused. So I wanted to make this video to sort of end cap everything that I've been talking about with land, because I've noticed some recurring questions and themes in discussions that I've had on the phone with some of you viewers, things in the comments, things in my email, and also just curiously enough, some things that haven't been asked. And so I wanted to put together a little bit of helpful places to look for answers that I think you should be asking questions about. Yes, sorry, it's a little bit, my brain's a little bit crazy right now. Anyway, so let's get started. A lot of people that contact me are looking for a simpler life, a more rural life, in some cases, or rather in a lot of cases, a very remote life. And I think all of those things are amazing. I just think that in order to turn a dream into a goal, you have to have a plan, and you make plans with information, you make plans with answered questions, you make plans with resources, and that's what this video is about. So I have a link down in the description box of this video that has multiple links to the things that I'm going to be addressing in the video. And if you're watching this on Instagram television, also known as IGTV, I have this this link in my bio. So one of the first things that I want to address that has not come up, but I think it is a very worthwhile topic, is the subject of healthcare access in a rural setting. Not all rural communities are set up the same, so I want to start just with that. I'm not casting all communities that are lesser populated in a way that means that they all have the same issue. I'm just saying, because the issues are all different, and because a lot of the issues come up the same in a lot of those communities, here are some of the things that you should ask. And healthcare is really, it's like one of the number one things. It's not that everyone in rural communities is unhealthy. That's not my point here. But your access to getting medical attention can be difficult depending on where you live. People that are from rural places or still live there, they can tell you all about it. I just went to an agricultural conference through the United States Department of Agriculture virtually, and this was one of the big topics, especially because of 2020 COVID. A lot of people needing medical attention, not emergency type of stuff, but checkups and managing illnesses and conditions and cancers and things like that, and how that became even more difficult because of just the really tense and trying circumstances around being near other humans during this whole 2020 COVID stuff. So in the link that is in the description, or in my bio, if you're watching this on IGTV, I just have a link to all of the hospitals that are in Kentucky. And the purpose of that is for you to, you may know, hey, I really like this county, or I really like this place, or I really like this property. You can sort of cross-reference where you're wanting to be and where you're interested in with, what are the counties around there, or what is the hospital in that direct area. Maybe it's the next county over and it's still only 20 minutes away. We have lots of counties here in in Kentucky. But maybe it's close, maybe it's far, but it's a question that you should ask, because you may have something that you're dealing with health-wise that you may not disclose to me, and nor should you. I mean, that's none of my business. But being close to a hospital to manage whatever health situation you have may be a very important thing. And so I've got that link to all of the counties as best as Wikipedia can tell me with hospitals. And in addition, I should have said this first, but I also just have a map of all the counties. We have over 120, or maybe exactly 120, I'm not really sure. But as you can imagine, I cannot personally keep track of all of them, and I also just don't work in all of them. So I've got just a physical representation of, where are these places in the state, so that you're not just like, okay, I've got a name, but what does that even mean? Where is that? How does that relate to this one place I really like? You can start to see the relationships between where you're interested and where these health institutions are. Another link, another theme as well that has come up in my conversations with you amazing YouTube viewers is that subject of schools. There's over 11 million acres of space in Kentucky, and as you might imagine, just like I don't know everything about all the hospitals, I don't know everything about all the schools, and nor am I qualified to really talk about that. Even if you were a residential client of mine, what I'd end up doing is saying, hey, here are 3 websites that give schools a grade here, an A, B, C, D, or F, or a scale of 1 through 10, with varying degrees of details about those schools or that school district. So I've got that listed in the link in the description box and in my bio. Again, this is just a link to my website that has all of these categories that I'm talking about. So you will only see the one link, but then it'll have all of these different things that I'm speaking about. But schools are another thing that people have asked me about, and generally it's something that you have to, you gotta look it up yourself, because I can't make a judgment about a school. If I think that the school is good, but you see that actually for your standards it's bad, then we have a problem, because now you feel like I've sold you something that wasn't represented well, whatever. So it's better to go to the source in order to get that kind of information. Another thing that's come up, but less in questions, but more just the absence of the question, is this idea of food. A lot of people contact me and they want to be homesteaders, which is, again, amazing. I think it's a really, really great idea. I think that there is a lot of merit in being self-reliant and just having your own thing. But there are usually 2 things that don't quite marry up. And so one of those things is some of you just don't have the experience of growing and cultivating your own food, be it meat, if you're a meat eater, or if it's, growing crops and fruit trees and things like that. So the one suggestion is just that you start practicing those skills early. Find your local, your county extension's office. Like there are places where you live now where you can learn more about agricultural skills and participate in programs to get that kind of knowledge. But secondly, if you are going to be transitioning from a densely populated place where you probably could even have your food delivered to you, but now you want to live in a place where you may not see people for days on end because it's so sparsely populated, even if you have the most foolproof homesteading plan, you can plant a tomato today, but you're not going to eat that tomato tomorrow. So I've got some resources just about how to find grocery stores. Maybe grocery stores are important to you. I think that they probably should be to a lot of you, because even if you decide to have chickens and you do grow a lot of fruits and vegetables, what do you do in the wintertime? You're not growing anything during that time. And after you've killed 7 of your chickens to eat them, what do you do after? So you've got to consider where your food is, how far away it is, and things like that. And some of that can just be a Google search, like you really love this property that you found on Zillow or something that I sent you. So then get on Google Maps and type in the address and say nearest grocery stores or something like that. Because of course I won't have a mental map of every grocery store in any given county. But you know, if it's 45 minutes away to the nearest grocery store, that may be great for you. But for some, that may be too far. I know where I used to visit a lot in northern Michigan, one of the most beautiful places ever. I'm from Michigan, but northern Michigan is, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours away from where I used to live. And, you know, you can drive an hour and 20 minutes even to get to the nearest Walmart. We're not talking about like a mom and pop kind of fresh food situation. Like, we're just talking about a Walmart. And I know Walmart has some fresh food too, but that's also depending on who's buying the food for that store. The point that I'm getting at is a lot of remote and rural communities have a tremendously difficult time getting access to nutritious foods. What is incredibly ironic about a lot of that stuff is they're growing a lot of food that is for other places or for other purposes. And, you know, it's an ongoing political and socioeconomic battle and discussion about how to fix things like that. But as it stands now, if you're ready to buy a place and you want to live there and you don't want to starve, you've got to figure out where your food's going to come from and how far of a distance you're willing to travel to get that type of thing, because it takes a lot of work to be a successful and highly productive farmer. Even if you're doing it on a small scale, you could have a bad year. So do you want to drive an hour? If the answer is yes, great. But if the answer is no, you might need to consider other places in that county or other places within the state that you're willing to live, because food is something that we all need. So in the link in my bio / the link that is in the description of this video, I've got some tips about how to find grocery stores and where those places might be, so that you can integrate that into your decision-making system when you are trying to buy your next property, your rural property. The other thing that comes up a lot, so this is a question that's asked a lot, not one of the questions that's left out, is safety and crime. And again, that's one of those things that I'm not really qualified. I can't say, you know what, 5 murders happened here last year, or, you know, this is a super safe place. Safety is a matter of experience. It's a matter of perception a lot of times. Do you feel safe versus if you actually are? You know, if you're 3 years old and you're doing something really fun, you're having a whole lot of fun, even though what you're doing is objectively dangerous. But you feel perfectly safe. So safety is in the eye of the beholder. It's all about the experiences you come from and just how you deal with high pressure situations, or what you even perceive to be high pressure. So to all of that, I say, you know, investigate. I've got a link attached to my description here that will help you look up crime statistics, because not all crimes are the kinds of crimes that you care about. Maybe murder is the only thing that you're really concerned about. Maybe it's petty theft, maybe it's drug crimes. Whatever the case may be, you can look up those things from an objective source, a place where that data is collected and where that data is reliable, and where my opinion is then irrelevant. Because again, I cannot tell you what can make you feel safe. What makes you feel like you're in danger may not make me bat an eyelash, or vice versa. Okay, so then there's the big sort of elephant in the room, which is connectivity. And I don't mean like, oh, let's all love each other. I mean, we should all love each other, but not that kind of connectivity, but the way that the world works today. Like, you're watching me on some platform, right? YouTube, Instagram, someplace on the internet, which probably means that you're using high-speed internet, which probably means you're not in a remote area of the world or of the United States. You're watching from a place where high-speed internet is readily available. And if you're a person that depends on that, whether it's for your Amazon orders or to learn more about things that you're interested in, or just to binge watch and decompress from whatever type of life you live, it is not a given that you have the high-speed internet access in rural communities that you do in urban and suburban environments. Again, it's an ongoing battle and something that, I think there are lots of advocates to try to change that at the political level, on state and federal political levels, certainly local ones. But it's not something that is going to change overnight, and it's something that you have to consider. And so in the link that I keep referencing during this video, I have just some internet providers around Kentucky, as well as some information about like satellite internet versus high-speed internet, and also this new thing that I'm pretty sure Elon Musk is doing. Elon Musk, or one of those other huge tech guys, they're bringing something called Starlink around the country. It's supposed to be like some of the fastest satellite internet. I think it's satellite, but it's supposed to be bringing better connectivity to rural spaces, but it's not everywhere. It's very new, so I don't know how well it works. I still don't know anybody that has it. But connectivity is a huge thing. If that is an enormous part of your life and you're going to want that, it's something that you should be thinking about as you try to get on to your next chapter of this rural life. So again, you've got healthcare access, schools, safety and crime, and then the issue of connectivity. Four really important things, questions that all four, they may be all important to you, but there may just be a few things on the list that are important to you. No matter how you slice it, if you click the link in the description of this video or the link in my bio, if you're watching this on IGTV, then there's a page on my website that just has a bunch of information about these things, so that you can learn more and so that you can continue to move forward toward your dream instead of just dreaming about it. You want to have a goal, you want to have a plan in order to get there, and I want to help you do that. So that's what the link is for. Happy to answer other questions. I think you'll be hearing from me next, probably just about random short things. I want to update you about hemp in Kentucky. I want to talk a lot about the housing market as things start to heat up here in, it's March right now. So a lot of my videos won't be so specifically land focused, but I am always working in the land business, I assure you that. I just won't be recording as much video about it. So if you do have any questions after this, reach out to me in the comments, reach out to me on email, reach out to me on my website. You can find me here, of course, on YouTube. You can find me at landonhomes.co for pretty much all major social media channels. So that's the little @ landonhomes.co. And then my website is www.landonhomes.co. All of that information is somewhere on the platform that you're watching, but I just wanted to say it out loud. In the meantime, I really hope that you have an amazing 2021. Certainly, I hope it's a better one even than 2020. Be safe, be healthy, ask questions, and talk to you later. Hey, so thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts, your questions, tag someone, or leave a comment below.